This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.
And welcome back, everybody. She helps people with their meal plan. She helps people with their nutrition. However, it's not just about the food, it's about the mindset. And that's what makes her very different as an integrative nutrition health coach. That word, very important, coach.
Yeah.
Because we're going to talk about your happiness, your quality of life, the joy in your life that directly correlates to your food. She is
absolutely
Katie Patterson. She's back with us. How are you doing today?
I'm good, Steve. How are you?
I am good. I'm good. And this is a big deal. A lot of us don't realize where we're at mentally and how it connects to food. And you mentioned it before we even jumped on here, that if you're not feeling good overall, of course, feeling good about yourself, what choices are you going to make? You're going to be like, I'll just eat that. I don't care.
Yeah.
I deserve that. And it could be not the greatest choice. And then you'll eat it. And then how do you feel? You feel even worse about yourself. It's almost like a vicious cycle.
Exactly. It is a vicious cycle, completely. It goes back to a little bit about what we talked about last week with the circle of life, where there's all of the different factors that make up your world, your life. And your emotional state, how much joy you bring into your world is one of those big, big factors. And so if you don't make time to figure out what brings you joy, what it is that makes you happy, and that will light you up and motivate you to be a better version of yourself, then it's going to sidetrack you a little bit, and you're not going to be able to accomplish what you want to accomplish in the best way.
I'm big into energy. I'm sorry, I think we might have had a delay there. The word joy.
No, go ahead.
It was kind of a wake up for me. Because I always heard or thought that the highest vibration, which is your energy, was love. That's the highest. But I'm hearing, no, it's not. It's joy above the vibration of love, because they kind of work together. When you have one, you have the other. I didn't even see it that way, because
sometimes
we'd like them to,
Yeah.
Wow. So how do we find our joy?
Really, it's individual for everybody. It's finding out and it's sometimes it's going back to nostalgic things that just light you up, that make you happy, that just make you smile. It's that give you that serotonin boost. Serotonin is naturally a chemical that occurs within your brain that gets released into your body when you're happy. I read something yesterday that says you need 4 hugs a day to survive. You need 8 hugs a day to give your brain the serotonin boost it needs to be happier. And you need 12 to actually feel as if you are a happy person. Like, hugs are a necessity. And the longer you hug, like I think it's a 22-second hug makes a huge difference. And so there are people that walk around in a drought because nobody's really hugging 12 times a day. I mean, that's not normal. But just think about it. How often do you even hug anybody? Really hug somebody? Especially since
COVID.
Yeah.
Where everybody's still on guard. I was at a gathering yesterday, and I'm good with fist bumps. I'm actually okay with that. But then, there's the moment where you're going to hug somebody real quick. Crazy. I
had a hard time with it. I think I gave myself COVID because I am a hugger. I am somebody who shows affection, and I didn't think about it sometimes. And I remember I was at a gathering September of that 2022, I guess it was, the second year. And I'm hugging people. And it was one of the first times everybody was back out and doing things together. And I was so happy to just be in that moment. And then 2 days later, I came down with COVID.
Oh, wow.
So, I paid the price for it. But it was, everybody was in more of a depressed state during COVID. We might not have realized it. It also had to do with the political craziness that was going on, the people, the vaxxers and the non-vaxxers, and people fighting and families having issues. All of that put us in a state where we were it goes back to fight or flight. Like, we didn't have a lot of joy going on at that point.
Yeah.
People took up new hobbies. People got puppies left and right during COVID to try to bring some happiness and joy back into their lives.
That was my next question. Hugging.
Yeah.
Hugging your dog, hugging an
Oh,
animal.
it definitely counts.
Okay, thank you.
It definitely counts. Yeah, look, come here. She's right here. It counts.
I'm right there with you.
You need to have, yes, pets bring you such intense amounts of joy, and it is unconditional. It is the epitome of the word unconditional. All they want from you is love and attention and affection, and
Yep.
they give it back to you, and they read your emotions. Have you ever had a moment where you've been upset or stressed out or something, and your dog just comes over to you and puts their paw on you? Or if it's a small dog like mine, she'll come lay on top of you. They just know.
Yep.
They know. My
Yep.
dog knew when I was sick with cancer and I was going through surgery. She didn't leave my side. They know. They bring you joy. They bring you the love and that emotional attachment that we need.
100%. And
Yeah.
nobody reads energy better than an animal because they
No.
don't have devices, they don't have mortgage payments, they don't have car payments,
No.
they don't have all this other stress.
Exactly.
They're perpetually grounded, typically four paws, always
Yep.
on the ground.
Yep.
And since they don't have the distractions, all they're doing is focusing on energy, reading what we got around
Yeah.
us. Right? It's just automatic. I took my dog
Exactly.
yesterday. I was just feeling like a little depleted. I grabbed him. I have a crappy 25-year-old Jeep that I just use for fun. I take it
Yeah.
kayaking, whatever. Plus, I don't want him in my car so much because gets a little hair around. My
And
dog's
they
about the
smell a little
same.
bit.
He's the same size as yours. And
Okay.
we just went for a drive. He sits on my lap. He looks out the window.
Yeah.
I walk him around town. People love him, and it's just,
Yeah.
that was like the best part of the weekend. One of them,
Right.
anyway.
This one gets so excited. And there's some days when I get so busy. I mean, I'm doing this. I'm a pastry chef too. I've got, caretaker for my mom. There's so much stuff going on.
Yeah.
And some days she gets neglected. I don't get to take her for a walk when I want to. And when I do, like that little tail goes and she's so happy. And it just makes you smile.
It does. And you know what? It reminds you the simple things. That's
Yeah.
that's making them happy.
Yeah.
My dog, when he hears any engine, he thinks that he's going somewhere.
Okay.
So even when I take him for a walk, like if I start a vehicle or whatever and it's just sitting there warming up or whatever, I'm like, no, sorry,
Yeah.
I got to shut
I
it
know.
off because he
You
goes to the
feel
door.
bad.
You
You
feel
feel
bad.
bad.
Yeah.
The only way she gets out sometimes, the only way I can get her sometimes to come to me is to open the car door and she'll go in the car.
I
And then I
gotta,
feel bad because I'm tricking her, but I have
right.
to.
I got to remember that because even mine is treat driven, but even treats sometimes
Yeah.
don't work, but the door probably would work.
Mm-mm.
Interesting.
Yeah, the door works. They jump in the car, then you feel bad.
So we've identified hugging pets, all good.
Yeah.
The joy thing. Any other thoughts to get us there?
Look, I had a weekend and I'm going to get personal. I took my daughter Thursday night. I have a 15-year-old and she loves concerts and live music and she's really big into music. So Thursday night we went to go see the Jonas Brothers. And for me, it brings me back to when I was a teenager and I was going to see New Kids on the Block and all these other groups that were really popular back then. And
Yep.
it kind of makes me feel like a teenager again. Plus the Jonas Brothers are awesome. So it was fun. So we go to the concert and we have a blast. And it was a drive. We went down to Camden because we didn't get to go to the concert at MetLife last weekend. So we get down there, we do our thing, we have a blast. We come home. The next day, she's like, Mom, they're going to be at Hershey. It's not that far. Can we go back? And I'm like, oh. And then it's like, well, you know what? Yeah. Why not? Why not? It was fun. It brought me joy. It brings me joy to see her happy.
Yep.
Live music is one of those things that brings me joy. I love concerts.
Same.
I love the environment, the energy. Again, it's nostalgic because it makes me feel like a teenager again.
Yep.
I'm sitting there watching her enjoy this. That is the epitome of joy, of happiness. And so, yes, I drove 2 hours and 45 minutes out to Hershey, Pennsylvania. We were going to stay and it was raining. It was a mess at first. The concert starts and it didn't matter. We had a blast. And then we drove home and I got home at 2 a.m. So
But those are
It was worth it
memories.
though. It was worth it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm, you know, I'm still on a high from it. And seeing her face was just the best part of it. And so for me, I gain joy from my kids. I adore my kids. I love being around them. I love doing things with them. So to me, that's a big part of it.
But you identify many different components there. First of all, when they're happy, you're happy. You
Yeah.
both have a common bond, live music. Love It Too was at a concert over the weekend as well.
Mhm.
But then you said, even before just as we started today, the nostalgia end of things can
Yeah.
bring you back and bring you joy. And for you, it's that kind of vibe of seeing like a boy band,
Yeah,
it takes you back. It takes you back.
it does. It does. And there's nothing wrong with holding on to certain things like that in certain parts of you and acting like a child or, acting young. Forever young is a really good way to try to live. You don't have to. Everybody's so serious all the time. Like there's so much going on in the world that is ugly and everybody is driven by work. You know,
Yeah.
we here in the United States, we live to work, we don't work to live. It's, if you go over to Europe, you see people who have a completely different way of and not just Europe, but other parts of the world, a completely different way of living. They go to work, but they take big siestas in the middle of the
Oh my
day. They
gosh.
enjoy their lives. They enjoy their meals, all of it. And it's just they're happier people. We are so work driven that sometimes we don't stop and take time to enjoy ourselves and to bring the joy into our lives and cultivate that. And I think it really does affect everybody. It affects the population. It affects the young people. It affects the older people. Everybody's just sometimes a little too serious.
I
And you have
totally
to remember
agree.
how to have fun.
You just brought back a memory. I was at Hershey Park a few years ago waiting for
Okay.
my kids and her friends to get off a ride. And I just had a conversation with the man who was standing right there, and he was from the UK. And we started talking, and he's there on holiday. And
Mhm.
I'm like, so we started talking. I'm like, yeah, I'm took a few days off this week. Is it a few days? You guys are crazy. I'm 7 weeks. I'm part of this right now. And he's a police officer, and that's
Oh,
his
wow.
the usual.
Yeah.
7 weeks, can you imagine?
Yeah, exactly. But that's normal over
That's normal.
there. Here,
Yeah.
we're lucky if we get 2 weeks and we spread it out throughout the year
Yeah.
to feel like we get a reprieve from the craziness of life. Like we're all on this hamster wheel that sometimes we just need to stop it and get off of it and have some fun, have
Yeah.
some joy.
Stop the madness.
Exactly. Look, I mentioned to you before, the movie Inside Out. Okay, the Disney movie, all the characters are your emotions and it's everything that goes on in this little teenage girl's brain. Joy is in charge of all of it. Joy is the one that basically runs everything. And when Joy, especially in the second movie, when Joy has a problem, this little girl is out of control and she's not able to control the rest of her emotions and everything kind of unwinds. It's a perfect example of what happens in real life.
Hmm.
And so that all correlates back to how you live your life. And again, with nutrition and with making good choices and all of that, if you don't have your emotions under control and if you're not able to be childlike and have some fun, there's a lot, the rest of what happens in your day, you don't function properly. You don't make the best choices. You don't care about your health so much. You don't care about what you eat. It's not important.
It
You're always in a
feels
better state of mind when you're happy.
it feels like something's missing when you don't have true joy.
Yeah.
And you might not even know what it is. You just
Mm-mm.
feel maybe like a little void. And then you're always looking for it when it's not pure joy. You're looking for that thing that's missing. And then what happens when it comes to nutrition? You just eat whatever.
Yeah.
And you care. I feel that, people do somewhat care about what they eat, but then at that moment, and then the next moment, and then the next moment,
Hmm.
I'll just grab it. I need to feel good. It shouldn't
Yeah.
be food. You shouldn't grab food just to feel good.
Food. Yeah. Food as an emotional regulator is never a good idea.
Mm.
But emotional eating is such a big issue. There are so many people that do it. Um, and look, I know there's a whole huge section of our population that is unhappy, that does have issues with helping themselves become happy, and that's why mental health is such a big thing. And it's better that people talk about it more and more now, but it's still almost a taboo subject. Um, but unfortunately, it's a real issue, and it affects your whole life. So finding those moments in your life that you can just figure out ways to bring some kind of joy back into it, no matter what it is. Just put on a song and dance. Like just go crazy, like doing something silly. Go for a walk in nature if that's what makes you happy. You said you go kayaking. Um, Go get out and do that. Like there's just so many things that you can do that can help to bring a little bit more joy into your world.
And
And
be
that will just
intentional. You got to
be
make
it.
time for it. That's the
Yeah,
other part of it, you know?
yeah, exactly.
Even, like you said, even listening to old songs. I've been on a thing in the past, I would say, month and a half or so, where before I go to bed, I will listen to old songs and I
Hmm.
will listen to the lyrics and I will read the lyrics. And I've
Yeah,
never really dug deep into it, but kind of magical. And even some
it
answers.
is.
Here's a weird one for you. And I don't want to run too deep here, but um, I had a little flood in this office studio
Oh,
area, just a sink situation. Um, yeah, and I don't want to get too woo here, but I'm convinced that it was a sign, and there's other
okay.
things surrounding it. So fast forward to it happened last week. So then last weekend, I go and I see a Stone Temple Pilot tribute band. Right? I'm just
Okay.
hanging out,
Okay.
and there's a song comes on, and they're playing. I'm like, oh, this is good. Like the guitar is like, whoa. Turns out it's sung by Collective Soul, and I've been playing it over and over again. Like this is just, I'm not even really
Yeah.
listening to the lyrics. It's just this, it's just
It's the vibe.
it's grabbing me. The name of the song is "Where the River Flows,"
Oh, wow.
and I never even put the two. Why is that song showing up? Why is it like
Yeah.
grabbing me? And then I look at the lyrics, and essentially it's about, making changes in your life, moving forward with certain things. And I believe the water, and by the way, that water situation was in this general area. The week
Okay.
before, the water fountain in the hallway somehow got engaged and was going and shooting water like half the weekend everywhere. It stopped at my door, so I was good in that way.
Oh,
So I got 2 weeks of water.
okay.
Then where the river flow shows up, I swear there's a sign. The universe is saying something to me. Read into it. And even those lyrics, the lyrics of that song, I didn't even hear them. I just listened to the guitar riff. But I think
Yeah.
subconsciously I'm hearing it. But point
Yes.
here is look for things. Like look for
Oh,
things that could bring
absolutely.
you joy. We don't do it because we're on that hamster wheel all the time.
Absolutely. It's not a hard thing to stop and to really pay attention to your surroundings, to pay attention what's going on with you. I have a friend who does this thing called beauty hunting. My friend Jen Pasteloff, and she will just just make it a point of every day trying to find five things in the world or in your life, what your things that you see in your day that are beautiful, and you call them out, and you make it a point of recognizing these things. And when you purposely start to try to recognize beauty in the world,
Mm-hmm.
it you become more respectful of it, and it actually it's comes you bring that, you call that into your life, and it's a happier place to be
What does she call
when
it?
you can sit there and recognize it. Beauty hunting.
Beauty hunting. Hmm. You know.
Beauty hunting. I did it last night. I did it last night with my daughter. We were
Hmm.
When we first got to this concert last night, it poured. And this is an outdoor stadium. We're at the stadium at Hershey Park, not in the arena. And so we're like, oh my God, they might cancel this because there was lightning and thunder and everything. They usher everyone that was there into the arena. So we're all randomly just thrown into this arena, all of these thousands of people, don't know what's going on, don't know if the concert's going to happen. My daughter's starting to get pissy, and I'm trying to like make light of it. But then all of a sudden, groups of people just start singing songs in the stands. They start doing the wave. Like everyone's just like, we're going to make the best of it. We're sitting here. We don't know how long we're here for. And everybody started trying to make the best of it, and it lightened the mood. Everybody kind of turned around and became a little bit happier. And then it's like, okay, we remember, look, the rain stopped. We're going to get to the show. It's going to happen. And then we go outside and there's a rainbow. As the show's starting, we're all shuffling in. Everybody's trying to get to their seats. They rush the opening act on really early, but there's a rainbow. And it's like, you know what? You guys went through all that, but we'll give you something pretty. And then the show was fantastic and we got through it. And as soon as it happened, everybody started smiling again. But if
Mm.
you could, even just in that moment, just be happy and recognize how fun it was to see all of these people doing the wave and singing 20-year-old Jonas Brothers songs while we're stuck in an arena with like no air conditioning and it was crazy. It's one of those things where you have to appreciate what's around you.
You have to look for it.
Yeah, you have to look for it.
You said with that story, and thank you, like beautiful, some words that really stand out. And you were referring to the venue and the night, but there's something there even more beautiful and big. We don't know how long we're here for. You were referring to the show.
No, but you're right.
You know,
You're right.
think about it. Think about
Life
it.
is
You know?
really short.
It really
Life is
is.
really short, and we don't know how much time we have.
Mhm.
And we can make a choice to go around and be grumpy and be consumed by work and all of the ugliness in the world, or we can try to see the good in things. And we can try to, like, I'm a glass half full person. I always have been. It's really hard sometimes to be around people who are glass half empty. Um, because it's just a totally different mindset that I don't get. Life is
Mhm.
too short.
It really is. You bring back a memory. I ran a radio station here on Long Island. Left it about 5 years ago. I was there for about 10. Um, and the station is called K Joy. And I
Okay.
rebranded it music that makes you feel good.
Yeah.
And it just propelled it. The ratings went up when it was a whole different mindset
Yeah.
surrounding what it's about. Yeah, we play music that
Hmm.
makes you feel good. It's
It
really,
does.
and it's, they're carefully picked, in terms of the lyrics, not like over like censoring or overload on that. But it's also the mindset.
It
What makes you
is.
feel what makes you feel good might be different than what makes me feel good. Doesn't
It
matter.
is.
Yeah. This is just a piece of what you offer when it comes to coaching. And that
Yes.
word is so key because there are nutritionists out there. There are people that can do meal plans, et cetera, et cetera. But it's all about the mindset. You could have the best plans, the best food, the best everything. If you're not in the right joyful mindset, it's for
Yeah,
naught, because you're not going to
it
stick
is.
to it. You're going to derail at some point. It starts with joy.
That's that's the difference between a coach and a nutritionist or a dietitian. I'm not going to sit there and just give somebody a nutrition plan or give them some recipes or say this is what you need to eat on a daily basis. Come back to me in a week and tell me how you're doing. No, it doesn't work that way. You need integrative nutrition tries to look at the person as a whole. And what we're talking about today is a component of what makes up that person. So if you can get to the bottom of what's going on in their life, why they're feeling the way they are, if they don't have a lot of joy in their life, like what we're talking about, then that's when it leads to bad food choices. It leads to not exercising. It leads to being lazy and sitting on your screens all night long instead of getting up and going for a walk. Or it leads to ordering DoorDash instead of, cooking yourself a meal. Like there's so many different factors that make up your health. And so me as a coach, I'm there to cheer somebody on the side. I'm the hype person. I'm the person to sit there and try to talk to them, figure out what's going on, give some suggestions, but then really make them start to think. And then just be the one on the side who watches them blossom when they finally get that light bulb moment.
Mm, which is, it's everything. Again, the highest
Yeah.
vibration is joy. Um,
Yeah.
the Find the five. That's what I'm going to go. Find the five beautiful things. That's everybody's homework assignment
Beauty
today.
hunting. Yes.
Yeah, beauty hunting. There you go.
Yep.
How do we don't have to hunt you. You're easy to
No,
find.
it's not that hard.
How do we do that, Katie?
I am the pastry chef health coach on Instagram. On Facebook, I am Katie Cakes / My Kind of Healthy. That is my business name. And mykindofhealthy.com is my website.
Thank you for today. Thank you for the reminder of what's important. Really, what's important? Yes,
Yeah.
food and nutrition is important, but you need both. You need joy and you need that and a lot
You
more.
do.
You
You
really
do.
do. Can't
Thank you,
believe the
Steve.
Jonas Brothers are still big.
They're huge all of a sudden.
Amazing. Well,
It's a blast.
look what's new again. Gen Z, old school cameras. Why did I throw them
Exactly.
away? Old
I know,
phones.
right?
So funny.
Exactly.
All right, we'll catch up soon. Thanks again.
All right. Thanks, Steve. Take care.
This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.